All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, joined today again by Zach Columbia. What's up, buddy?
How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so Randy's out of town, so we're going to kick off another episode with Zach today. It's really easy to get Zach because I just go down the hall and say, hey, Zach, jump in this podcast studio that's 30 feet away, and let's do a show. Got a great episode for you guys today, but before we do that, I want to let everybody know that the Fit Pro Grow Summit tickets are on sale. You can just kind of head over to fitprogrowsummit.com. Zach's spoken at one in the past. He'll be back again this year talking about what we're talking about on the show today. I'm semi-private and program design, all that good stuff. Tickets are on sale right now. The way we do our tickets, guys, it's limited seating. It's just this venue's even smaller than the ones we've done in the past. It's at the W Hotel in Scottsdale, Arizona on June 8th through 11th. We're actually bringing in HSN Nutrition to do a pre-con on that Thursday. So you guys can come in Thursday morning, check out the pre-con. Anybody that buys tickets before the end of January, you get access to the pre-con with Nicola Coyne. She's been on our show before. You guys may have heard of her, HSN Nutrition. Our ticket sales go up. I mean, the price of the tickets go up. Right now, they're at the lowest. It's the early bird. There's a code. You use WORM. It drops off $150 off the tickets. We've got a great deal for rooms. Again, it's just a small venue. You guys are going to love it. We have workouts in the mornings this year. We've got foods covered as far as lunches go, happy hours. We've got all kinds of cool stuff planned. So guys, if you haven't been to the Grow Summit, go check out fitprogrowsummit.com. Get your tickets now. All right.
Huge.
It's huge.
Do it.
Okay. So if you've been listening to this show for any amount of time, you know how I feel about semi-private training. That's our flag in the ground. We've been doing it in this marketplace since 2010-ish on some level, even before Zach was part of the team. When Zach has been our director, this is the time that we actually eliminated any other service offering other than semi-private, because we at one point had like our team training boot camp style. We had a basic access membership below that. And then we also have, semi-private on frequencies. All said and done today, if you look at this model, it's only semi-private training. And I'm happy that we did it.
Oh yeah.
And same with Zach. And so there was a point in time where we had to make a decision, and it was just after COVID. We were leaning this way to say, hey, boot camp is great. It's fun to train, but we got to get rid of it. How do we do it? And so why don't you kind of walk through how we decided to do it here so people don't freak out and think that they have to pull the plug in first minute of the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it, COVID did kind of open the door to make that easier, that transition easier, because boot camp kind of died anyway, right? Like you just couldn't put that many people in a room together. And, some places it was illegal to do that. And then some people you're just, risking upsetting the bad PR there. So that kind of created an opportunity for us. But even before that, we had kind of started reducing the number of classes that we were offering. And it was really pretty simple. We just went into the data and looked at, the attendance and, what classes were slower. And we just started picking some of them off, right? And reducing the amount that we had. And then, we just continued that process slowly, just eliminating them, right? And you obviously deal with some complaints, right? Usually it's the client that doesn't even come to that hour. It's like, oh, you got rid of the 8 a.m. And it's like they've been to 2 8 a.m.s the whole year. Yeah. Their normal time is 6 p.m. or whatever. It's like the complete opposite. And so it was like, whatever, obviously your boot camp clients are the ones that pay the least. And so the clients typically that pay the least are the ones that complain the most.
It seems that way.
Seems that way. Yeah. And so there were obviously some complainers, but we knew that this was the end goal was, hey, we're not going to have team training anymore. So as those clients kind of phased out and left, this whole time while that's happening, we're selling everybody into semi-private because we're not offering the team training anymore. Yep. So our recurring revenue is much higher, right? It's growing even though the body count is going down.
Right.
And that's what you want. Less clients, less problems, right?
True.
I mean, you know, and if you can get a higher paying client and have more higher paying clients, but less clients overall, that's a great model.
It's the perfect model.
Yeah.
You can afford to spend as much time with those clients as possible. You can give them the value that they deserve, right? The attention that they are seeking out for the price and justification, right? And they can keep them longer, right? Even before that, we knew that our lowest paying clients, our team training clients, were they would stay about 9.8 months, and then they were gone. And our semi-private training clients are 36 plus months, and it was just like a no-brainer. But we were trying to not rock the boat. And I think a lot of gym owners sitting in the same seat as we were, like, gosh, man, we love these clients, but like at the end of the day, this is not good for business to have them here. And I can think of a few right off the top of my head that we're both looking at each other, nodding our head. It was probably pretty difficult to have those conversations, but at the same time, it wasn't good for business. This is a business decision, not personal. And yeah, we heard about it, but at the end of the day, we knew why we were doing it, and they didn't care. But we knew we were doing it, and you fast forward a year, 2 years now, that has been completely out of our model. It's the best thing we've ever done.
Oh, yeah.
And it's usually that way. Yeah. It's usually that coach that you need to get rid of. Oh, my gosh, the place is going to fall apart. You get rid of the coach, you bring somebody else that's better.
Yep.
Right? Your price model, you change your pricing, you're afraid to do it, and you finally do it, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, why didn't we do this sooner? And so the same goes for anybody that's on the fence with semi-private training. You're holding on to that team training. It's a numbers game. If you look at the data, which I'm glad you brought that up in the very beginning, you're like, hey, we looked at the data of our attendance and we just made data-driven decisions. And we're very big on data on this podcast. This is how we make decisions. We try to stay away from emotion, but it's like, hey, you know, if you're on the fence, you got to look at the data. How many clients do I have in the boot camp? How many I have in semi-private? What's the price they're paying here? How many do I need to convert to this price point? What's the break-even point? And we do all this math in our coaching program, guys. This isn't something like, it's not rocket science either. If you just did this, you could say, okay, based on these numbers, I need to convert 23 of these boot camp members into semi-private training, and all the rest could leave, and I would be at the same price, revenue per month. That's probably a good thing. So kind of going back to your point, less clients, more money.
Yeah. And we broke it down even to the like per class rate that somebody was paying, right? And looking at that. And I think the lowest one was like $2 per class.
That's crazy.
Right. And I think the average was like 10. And so, you take our semi-private clients and you have one coach to 6 clients and we're making $200. You got to put 20 people in a class to achieve that same result.
At $10, yeah.
We didn't have any classes that were on average 20 people that high, right? And so it's like, what are we doing here? And that's an easy decision to say, hey, let's get rid of this class that on average has 5 people in it, which is less than our 6 for semi-private.
Yep.
Make that a semi-private hour and fill that up.
Easy peasy.
I mean, it's not you're going to have to deal with a little bit of pushback, but at the end of the day, like, it's worth it.
Oh yeah, it's worth it. And so kind of going back to your point, we slowly phased it out.
Yep.
We knew this was the direction, and then yes, with COVID, it was like a perfect storm, right? Like, okay, guys, unfortunately, due to COVID, we can't do this anymore, so we're doing semi-private only. At that point, we might have had a dozen clients left that were in the boot camps anyway. All you really need to do is convert 2 or 3 of them and you're breaking even. And so again, guys, semi-private training, and let's define it really quickly. It's one coach, to 4 to 6 clients. I wouldn't go more than 6.
Yep.
You start getting to that class feel. We train them individually. We're doing strength training. This isn't metabolic classes. It's strength training. We're in the racks. We're using barbells, dumbbells, all that good stuff. They have their own program. The coach is coaching form. He's coaching tempo. He's coaching all of that weight. He's putting load on for them, and it's like you're supposed to train. It's personal training and done at a semi-private level.
Exactly.
You can charge more. At $40 on average per session, you have $240 per hour paying coming in on that hour, and you pay the coach a fraction of that, right? And they're training multiple clients. And so it's just a great model. But here's the biggest thing to take away. Most gyms aren't running a really good semi-private training model out there. It's not the easiest model to run. This isn't like you open up a warehouse, throw the workout of the day, and everybody's doing body weight stuff, and you have one coach to 50 people, because that's an easy model to open. But it's also abundant, and everybody's doing that. And you don't want to be in that red ocean. We've talked about the red ocean mentality of like, hey, we're just like everybody else. How do we differentiate ourselves if we're doing the same thing? Typically, you got to lower your prices. And I was just telling Zach before the show, it's like I would rather be in the upper echelon of the market than anywhere near the middle or bottom, period. That's just where we want to be. And so that's the perfect chance for you guys to bring semi-private in, raise up your rates, maybe you have less people, and then make more money. The other side of this is the attrition rate in this industry is a 3 to 4% on monthly attrition is considered an A. Like, that's great attrition. You're holding on to almost 97% of your clients. If you only have 100 clients and you're doing decent revenue on a semi-private model, you only have to replace 3 clients a month. It's not like you have to replace 15, 20 clients a month when you have higher, bodies in your gym. You get the same attrition rate. So that's the secret nobody talks about, is like, hey, even if I lose 4% of 300 is 12, 4% of 100 is 4. I'd rather replace 4 than 12.
Yeah, and think about your ad spend to replace that many clients every month. Right?
It's high.
It's high. Mm-hmm. It's much higher than going to your clients and saying like, hey, you got any friends that you have to pay for it. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to replace that many clients, and that's why so many gyms that have the big, like, large group model die slow deaths, because they do a decent job at the beginning of their pre-sale and loading up their gym, and it's new and it's the new shiny object and they get the attention, but then they just slowly see it dwindle, their client base dwindle. Mm-hmm. And it's because the next shiny thing is going to open up, because you're not different in the market. And I've heard the argument before, like, the culture. Semi-private training, financially, there's nothing that compares, right? And so I would argue, like, hey, isn't having 6 people training at the same time, doesn't that give you the same opportunity to create the same culture as a large group?
Oh yeah.
But now financially it makes sense, and I'm delivering a better service to the client too. So you can make that argument of like, well, I like the culture and the energy of the large group. That's fine, but you can have your cake and eat it too, mm-hmm, right? Like, mm-hmm, you might as well have all the good things, and that's where semi-private lies. It's in the middle, right? It's the best of one-on-one and the best of team training just merged together.
I remember you said one time that you're answering somebody's post in the fitness business talk with fitness professionals Facebook group, and you were saying, hey, like in any large group model, you've got your core group, and then you have these other people that kind of come in and out. What is that? What was that about?
Well, that's kind of the large group model, right? Is you get your tribe. Mm-hmm. And we saw this with our team training too. Is like we had that core group of
come to every single workout.
Yeah, they're always there, and then we'd have to run like a big challenge or something, to get to fill in, and then it would slowly dwindle, and we'd be like, okay, we need to fill this up, and then we'd go market and do a challenge or whatever, and then fill it back up, and that core group always stayed there.
Sure.
And so, but those are the people that have also been with you for 10 years, 13 years, and they're paying the
peanuts.
Yeah, they're paying peanuts, because of course they're going to be your tribe. They're paying $2 per class.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I know.
So it just doesn't make sense.
Got it. Well, so what would you tell the gym that's like, hey, I like the idea of semi-private training. I don't know where to start, what to do. We got large group. I don't want to piss everybody off. Like, I can't just pull the plug to tomorrow morning and get this thing changed. How would you do it?
I mean, I would say call call Tim Lyons, right?
Oh, well, that's true.
What's that link? Go to pfmarketingsolutions.com/call.
There you go.
Yeah. That's what I would recommend, but you don't have to flip the switch, right? It doesn't have to be all at once. There's a methodical approach that you can take to phase out team training and phase in semi-private. And we have all the tools in place to coach somebody and say, hey, this is how you execute on this, right? This is how you deliver this. This is how you present it to your existing clients. This is how, you present it to prospective members. The transition is not as difficult as you might think it is. And human beings, just in general, we always like to focus on the negative things because we're planning for contingencies, right? And we're going is this possible? And a lot of gym owners are like, well, I'm still bringing in, I'm profitable. Hopefully, not all of them, but hopefully there's a decent amount that are like, I'm still profitable. Do I really want to make this change? And you're sitting in the owner seat, right? And you're seeing the financial benefits of you're seeing all the benefits, not just the financial, but from having a streamlined model, you can really operate at the same level as any of your biggest franchises, right? And In-N-Out, a McDonald's, if you trust us to help coach you through that process, that's how you can operate.
Oh yeah.
And it's scalable, right?
It really is.
And so don't talk yourself out of it and plan for all the negative contingencies, because it's never going to be as bad as you think it is.
Well, the honest truth, it's a lot harder model than large group. It just is. You have to
initially to set up,
and you have to educate the coaches, the clients. There's a learning curve. It's not like you just buy this book, read it, and then it just happens. But once, I think the programming part, locking that in and getting that figured out, which if you just go back one episode, we talked all about programming and how we do it and the software that we're leveraging now that we created and stuff. But if you have that locked in, that piece is huge, right? And then you have your coaches all around. You do trainings with the coaches every single week. You talk about programming. You can go out on the floor and hey, this is how we perform a kettlebell swing. This is the way this gym does it.
Yep.
Or overhead press. Here's the cueing. Here's this. And you guys can coach your coaches, and then everybody speaks the same language. You've got a system there. And now all you have to do is back up into the sales process and make sure that's communicated to the prospect, and then you have that onboarding and transition to the coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And as far as the coaching staff goes, right? You should be doing that regardless of your model.
Correct.
Unless you just have a gym and you rent out space, right? Which is probably the worst thing worst model you can operate.
Sure.
But for us, we have because with semi-private, the whole entire model hinges on the fact that your client's going to get a consistent experience regardless of which coach they work with.
Exactly.
Right? So our hiring and onboarding process is pretty extensive, but it doesn't end. Every week we do a coach to coach, right? Where one coach is responsible for educating the team on something. And really what that does is it just creates a platform where we can all talk about that issue and present the same exact message to the clients, right? So we all get on the same page. A coach brings up, okay, hey, want to explain some things, teach you guys some things maybe you don't know about an overhead press, right? And they demo that, and they're coaching us on it, and they researched it, and they've done their homework so that they can present on it.
Sure.
And then it's okay, well, what about this? What about this? And all the coaches are hashing it out. And then boom, all of a sudden we're like, okay, this is how we coach this. This is the right way. This is the legacy way.
Yep.
And then, we're all on the same page. Here's what we need to see to progress a client. Here's what should happen, how we regress this movement. And then we're done, right? And we do that every single week. And so that just gives us the opportunity to deliver the same.
Yeah, you absolutely have to train your staff. You just have to. If you listen to the episode with Karen Broadwater out of the Iron Tribe, she talked about staff training all the time, development. It's a must, right? I kind of leave that up to Zach because he kind of understands that's what has to happen. So he runs that whole play. But yeah, I'm seeing these coaches talking to each other. We run as a team, and it's great. So Listen, guys, there's better ways to do this model. There's more I guess, financially beneficial ways. There's systematizing ways. There's from the owner's seat of this business operation, I can go out there at any given hour of the day and see what I need to see. It's all happening in real time. And it makes you feel pretty damn good. And you can go out and talk to the clients and shake hands. That's really when we work with gym owners, I just want to go in and talk to the clients and laugh and joke and shake hands and then go home. Cool. Get your systems in order. I know systems isn't sexy. It isn't, fun to talk about. It's literally the steps and approaches of how you run your business. That's what a system is. It's not sexy to do. It's super sexy after they're in place and everybody's running the play. Mm-hmm. It's really sexy. It's like, and that's awesome, man. This is great. Sorry, I just got bloop. I'm going to have to bloop that out. Anyways, hopefully this helps. I think the time is now. If you're ever going to make your change and put your flag in the ground in your market and be different than large group, this is the time. Look, the time was probably 3 years ago, but 3 years from now, there's going to be even more people doing it. So I'd rather be here now, be the first to market if you're in this market, and put that flag in the ground and go run the play. If you guys need help, pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. That's our accelerator program. We'll jump on a call. We'll work with you and it kind of help you transition to that. But I don't want to hammer this flag too far into the ground, but that's what we believe in as a business. That's what we help our clients with. And that's not to say, listen, guys, there's people even in our iron circle that run large group training only and do very, very well. Okay. I just don't want to be there. Okay. I don't want all those clients. I'd rather make more money doing less clients. It's just a preference. I think there's better ways, but you can do large group training very well and have that culture and make great money. Awesome. And it's easy. It's easy to do that. And I'm not saying not to do it. I'm saying if you want to be different, because large group training by far in a way is a red ocean. I don't want to be like anybody else. Just look at our gym. We rebrand it. We're like nobody else. That's it. That's what I don't want to be like anybody else. They can't say, oh, well, you're kind of like these guys. I'm going to go check them out. They can't say that anymore. I mean, at all. So anyways, guys, hopefully that helps. Until next episode, go get your Fit Pro Growth Summit tickets at fitprogrowthsummit.com. We'll see you on the next episode. Keep changing lives. We'll see you. Bye. All right. And thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. And when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.